I'd like to reintroduce Jay Sidhu back to the stage for our final keynote speech of the evening, CEO of Customers Bancorp. We can all welcome him back.
You met my daughter, Loveleen. She was at Singularity University after I had been there a little bit. And Singularity, for those of you who don't know, you must. Entrepreneurs, you guys must go to Singularity, right? And so she comes back and she tells me, I met this awesome person over there and I went to his house. Well, little did we know that we were going to meet him over here again. You know, and I was in Silicon Valley, and because she said I needed a good Indian meal on one of those days that they were giving us all sorts of junk food at Singularity, and somebody took me out and blah, blah, blah. So, Raghav, fantastic. My hat's off to you. Give him another round of applause. You know. So, I was asked to speak and share with you in a few minutes. I know we're running late, so I'm going to be very quick. But I was asked to speak a little bit about my life experiences. But I think we had a chance to talk a little bit about that sitting over here. So all I can tell you is that in life, from my experiences, as I mentioned over there, that I came from a very, very, average family where my dad was the first person in the family to leave the village. He became a colonel in the army all by himself. He encouraged tremendous amount of sort of entrepreneurial spirit in you because he believed that was the way that was his DNA. And so I was very lucky to be at the right place at the right time for most of my life, you know. And so really the things that I've shared with you about principles of leadership, I really believe at the end of the day, you do not have to go to any school other than School of Hard Knocks, and which is you got to learn how to be a great human being, because being a great leader is being a great human being first. And nothing beats being an authenticity. Authenticity is the core of success. And emotional maturity or emotional intelligence is so much more important than IQ. IQ just gets you to a certain place, and emotional intelligence takes you wherever you want to go. You know, so those are the ones, sort of principles in addition to. So we run a company all the time that I was very fortunate at a very young age to given a chance, given an opportunity to take something which was failing and said, if you can turn it around, you can have a portion of it. And that's how we built Sovereign Bancorp from a failing company. I was so lucky to be surrounded by people who were smarter than me. I don't know why I was made the leader, but it was a great ride. And we took a company from about 4 million market cap to 12 billion, and making 24% average annual compounded rate of return for our shareholders along the way. And we made, you know, along the way, it wasn't a straight ride. There was a lot of this kind of stuff, okay, and all that stuff. And 2 years after I left, it was another one of those kind of stuff, because my little baby called Sovereign Bank was destroyed by the next management team, unfortunately, right? And it's because it's all about people. And it was a different kind. So my colleagues, after Sovereign didn't have a good ending, a few of them came to me, and we bought a house in Palm Coast, right on the ocean, and so came to me and said, you know, it would be fantastic to work together again. And like I shared with you, I enjoy golf, but I don't like playing golf on the same darn golf course all the time. I love traveling. You know, it's in my DNA. I like new stuff. And so I said, okay, guys, let's go. Let's do it. So we decided to embark on a journey, which I've been on that journey for the last 5 years, to create a bank of the future. And I was a traditional banker. We have built it from scratch to 1,300 branches. We built it from nothing to the 17th largest bank in the world. And now we're going to say that was all wrong, because that was the bank of yesterday. That was buying a bunch of banks, cutting the costs, fixing it, and moving on to the next. And that wasn't the way. That's not a sustainable model. A sustainable model is you identify businesses, segments that you want to serve, and then you execute superbly, and you look at tomorrow, and you look at customers' needs, and the customer must say, wow. If the customer doesn't say, wow, you have a lousy business model, period. Right? And so let's be passionate about it. So we created a business bank first, and that bank is called Customers Bank. And we are right now creating, or Loveleen is right now creating, a consumer bank of the future, which is called Bank Mobile. So let me just share with you a few little things about it. So your mindset matters a lot. This is my feeling, and this is coming from Singularity a little bit, that 1,000 years ago, it was the kings who set the mindset and the environment. And then about 100 years ago, they were the leaders of basically industrialists who set the tone. Today, it's everybody. Everybody. Every human being is in this technological world is perhaps more powerful than the kings of the 1,000 years away. Because it's this. Convergence of technology is creating the biggest opportunities you've ever seen in the past 100 years. And they are massively transforming themselves. You look at any industry. Banking is the most antiquated, inefficient, and the lousiest industry in the world, right? And even over there, you see opportunities, okay? And you got to have moonshot thinking. That's why, Raghava, you got moonshot thinking, all right? And you're going to develop that internet of art, all right? We're using. So we had said this. So in our opinion, 40% of all the companies who we consider successful today will be out of business within the next 10 years. It is guaranteed over here. Why? Because innovation is taking place at the incremental level rather than transformational level. There is no moonshot thinking in corporations at all today. All right? What are they talking about? How do we cut costs by 5 or 10%? How do we increase revenues by 5 or 10%? And guess what? The competitors are not thinking 5 or 10%. The competitors are thinking about exponential growth, which is 10x. 10x is very different from 10%. Okay? And so what we think over here is that you must have all the time look at least one area of your business where there is a potential for 10 times growth rather than 10% if you ever want to see successful innovation in a corporation. And I happen to be always working or building something into a large corporation, with thousands of people working for you. So this is one of the examples of Skunk Works at Lockheed. And this was the first jet. For those of us, you look at the Second World War, the United States were way behind, and it was a transformational vision to come up with a bold vision, let's beat the darned Nazis. All right? And we can't beat them unless we develop a jet that's going to destroy their Air Force and give us an edge over Air Force. And so at Lockheed, they came up with this transformational vision. They put together, and in 141 days, they developed a jet that basically gave an edge to the Allied forces to beat the Germans. Okay? And what were some of the principles? Small teams, extreme isolation, don't mess them up with your bureaucracy, give them authority and autonomy, give them flexibility, make them experiment, encourage them to test. Guess what, folks? These are the same darn principles that you talk about today, how to effectively use technology. Okay? It's not anything different at all. Okay? You look at all the billionaires involved today, all right? And all the way from Page to Elon Musk to Jeff Bezos to Richard Branson. Look at every one of them have clarity of the passion or a purpose. Every one of them talks about rapid experimentation when you analyze their experiences. All of them are very customer-centric. And believe it or not, the most successful entrepreneurs are extremely focused on risk mitigation. They're not the rebels like ours. The banking taught me this after I made something. Risk mitigation, which is what's the worst that can happen, and am I willing to accept that? If you don't have that, the chances are you'll never be able to take any risks. Okay. So, and long-term thinking and optimistic thinking. So what are my 3 moonshots? I wanted to share that with you today. 3 moonshots, right? And tell you a little bit about those. So first moonshot was, let us guys create a bank that would grow at 50% or higher organic growth rate in this slow economy, and without buying a single bank, right? Which was 10x. Good times, banks grow 5%, and we said 50%, not 7%. Another moonshot was, let's create a bank for the millennials and for middle-income Americans with no branches that should have 250,000 customers in 5 years. 250,000 customers mean you would be in the top 25 banks in the United States in terms of number of customers, and start from scratch and build that. Okay, making it public, so it's, but we do that. That's moonshot. And then let's help whatever we've learned, let's give back. So let's see if we can impact about 1 billion people around the world, okay, because there are 1.88 billion people connected today around the world through a smartphone. That number is going to go up by about 5 billion in the next 5 years. There will be over 7 billion, that's practically everybody on the earth today, plus the growth, who's going to be connected. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could help and give away our technology, give away our resources to see if we can reach 1 billion people and make them financially literate? So those are our moonshots. How are we doing? So Customers Bank is a business bank that's branch light. And folks, this is a bank, okay? It's a publicly traded bank. It's New York Stock Exchange. It's called, symbol is CUBI. Go right ahead. Look at it. We made about 4 times money in the last 5 years in terms of shareholder value. It's a bank which the regulators think is crazy because it's growing like crazy, right? But here it is, 85% average annual compounded growth rate in deposits, 91% average annual compounded growth rate in non-interest-bearing checking accounts and loans, and revenues growing by 69% a year growth rate in revenues, okay, over the last 5 years that we've been in business. Okay, so, and now here's to the moonshot number 2, okay, Bank Mobile. You can download Bank Mobile, and we think Bank Mobile is today, and Loveleen thinks Bank Mobile is today, operating on a scale of 1 to 10. If 10 is the model that you strive for, it's operating today at about 4 or 5, and we are guys, we're on front page of American Banker magazine as the one of the most innovative people, and we think it's only mediocre, right? Because there's so much more to do, right? So our mission is to make banking effortless, fee-free, and financially empowering, and a bank that you can love. Okay, and that's the purpose of this moonshot number 2. So why did we come up with this mission? And we want our people to have the vision, which is noble vision that you can be passionate about. Okay, just like you heard from Raghava. So there are 68 million Americans who are underbanked or unbanked today. Can you imagine 68 million? And if that's the 68 million in the United States of America, just multiply the same percentage, which happens to be 16% of our population, and look at the world. This is in today's darned age when we are connected, right? And banks are so darned inefficient, and you know who's paying for it? All of you. You should be proud of the fact that you are responsible for banks having these branches on every third branch on the street corner. You are paying nuisance fees that you don't have to ever pay. You're paying because there's a monopoly. Okay? So we want to stop that. All right? You are paying more in nuisance fees to banks than what America spends on vegetables today. Is that right? Okay. We don't think so. Right? So something should be happening. We should be changing this. Right? And this is Loveleen's presentation that I'm making right now. So sorry, Bubs, that I captured it. This is what she goes around doing, you know. And so millennials are saying we love banks and, and we are willing to change banks. All right, we did some research. I'm not going to show you this, but some research of what the millennials think about the bank. But maybe you do. Let's take 60 seconds. Can you play this, please?
You aren't your parents? Don't bank like them. Say hey to Bank Mobile, the world's first and only mobile-only fee-free bank built for and by millennials. Finally, a bank style as free as your lifestyle. Freestyle banking that pokes convention in the eye. Free from the fees that box you in. Less rust, more trust. Free from the minimums that weigh you down. That oh-so-freeing mindset that you know what's yours and life really is in your hands. Higher interest savings that frees you up to do whatever interests you, whenever it interests you. Mo money, momentum. Providing tips to financially empower you so you can hack life. Coloring outside the lines is the new party line. 25-8-366. Anywhere, anytime banking at the corner of Snapchat and Vine, and supported by 55,000 fee-free ATMs. That's freestyle banking. Download the app or visit bankmobile.com and get with the unlimited, unfiltered, unbanked. Bank Mobile.
So in summary, in conclusion, what I would just like to just share with you is, it doesn't matter. Innovation can take place anywhere. But doesn't matter just because you're an entrepreneur that you're going to be successful. You got to be at the right place at the right time. I've just been very lucky, but luck does happen to come sometimes if you do take chances. And number two is, once again, I want to just mention that there is no substitute to superior execution. It's all about people. It's not about business models. Okay? It's all about people. And nothing beats having passionate people and technologically competent people around you, okay, without any doubt about that. Another one is, without moonshot thinking, you have wasted an opportunity that that is presented to all of us today. I personally believe that the best time to be alive ever in the life of a human being is probably right now, because we are changing the way for hundreds of years this world is going to live like. It is going to be a different world. The old way of doing stuff is behind. It took us 100 years to change it, and technology is wide open for entrepreneurship. So this is fantastic, Ty, that you're doing this. I congratulate you, and you're supporting entrepreneurship, and good luck. And thank you for giving us.